Wilson Golf, a great heritage in the game, but where do they stand nowadays against the other giants in the industry? Are they still relevant? Do they still produce product that can compete against the best and the biggest manufacturers in the world? I've got my hands on some of their new product and I'm going to test it for you guys right now. Let's hit some shots, look at the data. Let's find out, are Wilson Golf still relevant? Not bad for starters, we like that. Gave me the shot shape hours after that little soft draw. That felt nice and quick off the face, I have to say. Another good hit. Quite happy with that swing. This Wilson Max Driver, the Dynapowr Max, is at $399 in the market. Felt fantastic again, have to say. Oh, that'll be interesting because that wasn't a very good hit. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Nick Scrutton here from Gimme Market Reviews, and I'm back with some more product for you guys. And now I've got another brand here, Wilson. I've been diving around the different brands recently. I've been testing out PXG for you guys. I've been testing out some different Ping, some Titleist. I've gone really around the houses, and now I'm with Wilson. And I'm going to try and test this and see where it stacks up against some of the other fantastic drivers I've been hitting in the market this year. This is the Max model. So really, when I'm testing this, I'm going to be looking at overall forgiveness of this head. There is 3 heads this year from Wilson. They've got the LS, which is definitely a more compact head and aimed at giving somebody lower spin, somebody who is already an accomplished driver of the golf ball, I would say, and somebody looking to fine tune their numbers. You've then also got the carbon model, which I really enjoyed hitting, and I have to say, was definitely a jump up from the previous carbon model that they brought out a few years ago. And now they've got this maximum forgiveness Max model as well. So this is a 10.5 degree head today, but I've got it tuned down to my settings, which is going to be at 9.5 degrees today. And I've also put a slightly different shaft in here. I've put the Riptide Stiff Flex in here, which is one of the shafts that I had from a previous Wilson model, which is going to be a little bit better suited to my particular swing characteristics and club head speed, because I wanted to give it a real fair test. Now, I wouldn't necessarily put myself into a max head, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be any less, in terms of from a performance perspective, it's not going to be any less suited to me, because some of the best players in the world play the max heads, and ultimately it's all about hitting fairways, right? So I'm always trying to get as much distance out of my game as I possibly can, but also for me, as not the longest hitter in the world, if I start missing fairways, that's a problem for me as well. So I'm going to try and test this across the face, see what we think of it. I'll try it at my normal sort of speed, which is between 105 and 108 mile an hour clubhead speed, and then I'll try and bring the clubhead speed back again. I might actually flip the original shaft in, which is a much lighter shaft that they provide with this as a sort of standard model, just to see how it performs. But just to start with, let's have a little look at the head performance. Let's hit some shots. I've got the 18th here at Pebble Beach lined up behind me. Let's see if I can hit this fairway. I'm down at the fabulous Foresight Sports HQ, and as you can see, I'm on one of their simulators here. I've got the 18th hole at Pebble Beach lined up for me. Always an iconic tee shot. You've got the ocean to the left-hand side, and then most of California to your right-hand side here. But guys still hit it into the rocks, including such players as Rory McIlroy. So if you get it wrong here, it can be an issue. I do hit a draw here, so I don't want to turn it over too much. I would say on that tree, or just slightly inside that tree up the right-hand side there, with my stock draw, should be a nice shape. But let's get back to the driver. So this is an all titanium driver here. So face, crown and sole, all titanium. So what I'd expect here is a slightly higher pitch acoustic than some of the other drivers that I've tested recently, which have been very much carbon fiber. Down by the golf ball, it actually picks up a really nice shape. I love the shape of this one, I have to say. I think Wilson, this range of Wilson drivers this year, they've gone above and beyond in terms of the shot shape. They've got a black finish here, which is more of a gloss finish. So again, it's picking up a little bit of light, but outdoors, that wouldn't be something I think you'd have to worry about a huge amount there. And the sole shape to it is very minimalistic, let's say. So there's a little bit of silver on here, a little bit of red. You got your Wilson staff logo in there, Dynapowr. One single back weight in here as well, which is 19 grams. And they've got their PKR 360, which is their face technology. So everybody's bringing similar technology to the market. They're all talking about performance across the face, maximum forgiveness, whilst also trying to give you higher launch, lower spin drivers. But enough of me talking, let's hit some shots. I'm going to try and aim it up the right-hand side there and work it back to fairway. Not bad for starters, we like that. Gave me the shot shape hours after, that little soft draw. That felt nice and quick off the face, I have to say, so I enjoyed that there. Let's give it another hit. Another good hit. Quite happy with that swing. Ooh, nearly on the line. Great, so again, so hit those two pretty well, have to say, and distance-wise, right out there, exactly what I'd expect, as long as anything else I've hit in the market so far. So out the middle, it's a really good performer, that I have to say. Really enjoyed those two strikes with it. Now I'm going to try and hit a couple at slightly slower club head speed. So I'm going to switch the shaft out and let's see how it performs at that lower club head speed. All right, team. So first I had to say, really impressed with the numbers there that I produced. I had that head at 9.5 degrees and I had a shaft in there with a riptide that I'm familiar with. It's a bit more suited to my club head speed and my technique. So I know that shaft swings well for me. And the data was absolutely fantastic with that match head there. As good as anything I've hit all season, I'll be completely honest with you. And worth mentioning, at this point in time, that particular driver right there, not with that shaft, but this Wilson Max Driver, the Dynapowr Max, is at $399 in the market. So it's around 100, 130 quid cheaper than, let's say, the Ping G440. So at that sort of price there, that is important to have to say in the market. You are getting something that is slightly cheaper. That wasn't the price it was brought to market at, but that's where it's sort of settled in the market right now. And at that price, it's almost £100, or it is over £100 cheaper than the other competitors in the market. You know, is that due to brand? Because if it's due to brand, if you take that off the table, that's performed as well as anything else I've hit this season. That is an absolute fact. But what I've now done is returned this driver back to its original form. So it's got the Ling Q driver shaft in there from UST. This is about 57 grams, this shaft. It's much softer, it's got a much higher torque value, so it's designed to really get it popping up, and I've returned it to 10.5 degrees. So now I'm going to try and take some club head speed down. So I was at about 105 there, ball speed in the early 150s. I'm going to try and drag that down just to see if this can just help me hit that shot shape that I'm after again. Just going to adjust the line that I'm going to hit here, because it would be a little bit tighter if I'm trying to take the same line as I did just there. So 2 seconds. Okay guys, so this is a little bit longer as well, this shaft, worth mentioning, but I'm just going to try and take the speed down to where I think the player in this part of the market would want to, I would say, swing this at its best. So took a bit off of it. Felt fantastic again, have to say. Shaft's definitely a little bit softer. I could feel that kick for me. Maybe even less than that again. So let me see if I can take it down a little bit more than that. Oh, that'll be interesting, because that wasn't a very good hit. And it's just about managed to nearly stay on the fairway. That was quite interesting though, because that was a really poor hit from me. Just held the face open on that one again. But you can definitely see, obviously, it wants to try and keep the ball up in the air very much. Again, a bit fadey, but it's found some fairway. So just as I'd sort of expect there, by knocking the loft back up and putting a much softer shaft in there, it really helped me sort of get launch and get spin. But I hit a couple of those, I definitely moved strike across the face there, and I have to say it was very stable still, definitely held the line quite nicely. They'll have a bit more spin on them, no doubt about that, but for the golfer that this is aimed at in this particular spec, that's not a bad thing. It's not aimed at people with 105, 110, 150 mile-an-hour club head speed, not in this setup anyway, not off the shelf. It's aimed at the guys closer to sort of 80, 85, 90 miles an hour, I would say. Needs a bit more help getting the ball up in the air. And with that sort of dynamic that I was putting on it there, where the face was a bit open and that is a typical slice sort of shape, it was holding it in there. So it's a pretty forgiving head, that I have to say. I'm really impressed. Quite nice to hit a titanium head after hitting so many carbon fiber options, but looks fantastic down by the golf ball. When I've got it into that 10.5 degree setting, it sits sort of square to slightly closed to my eye, which is not my preference. But when I knocked that degree off of it, it sat in a really nice position for me as a slightly lower single digit handicap golfer. But yeah, guys, Wilson, the Max head particularly, the carbon head, have you guys hit that so far this year? Has it been on your shopping list? If it has, how did you find it? And if you didn't hit them, why not? Is it a brand thing? Do these guys still produce product that competes against everything in the market? I think the answer to that is yes, to answer my original question. Is it something that will sell as many as the Pings and the Callaways and the Titleist? No, I don't think it will do because of where Wilson are perceived in the market, but I can't deny the performance there. That's a really, really nice driver by Wilson Golf. Well done, guys. Yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed that review, as always, smash the like button. If you haven't already, please give the channel a subscribe. And I want to hear from you guys, so get in the comments, let me know, do you play the Dynapowr Max Driver already? What has your experience been with it? If you haven't and you're in the market, are you going to give this one a try? Because I tell you what, you really should be. Guys, I'll see you at the next review.